I know. I went a little overboard with headphone reviews last year. But one big name was missing from the lineup, as many of you mentioned more than once. And now that I've actually used it for a while, I can see why you were so eager to hear more. I'm Michael Fisher, and this is the MrMobile review of the Sony MDR-1000X, brought to you by MintSIM. This headset is priced like the Sennheiser 550 and my everyday Bose QC35, and it has no trouble keeping up. Each of those competitors does have something on the Sonys. The Bose is lighter and softer on the ears, while the Sennheiser is also lighter and, I think, more stylish. The Sony is on the bulky side and, frankly, I think pretty dull to look at. I mean, I said the same thing about the Bose, but this is a whole other level of nondescript. Put it over your ears, and the 1000X hits all the right notes. Sony's acoustic noise canceling is excellent. Like all ANC, it analyzes background noise around you and uses phase-shifted sound to cancel it out. While wearing the headset with ANC turned on, you'll still hear a muted suggestion of voices or mid to high frequency sound around you, but the deep, steady thrum of airplane engines or train locomotives is completely eliminated. When you combine the noise canceling with a musical track or a podcast, it's kind of like having your own personal sound booth on your head. Ironically, Sony's approach to noise canceling stands out the most in how you can turn it off. If someone's talking to you, or you're listening for an overhead announcement, say at the airport, you don't need to take the headphones off. Instead, you just put your hand over the touchpad on the right ear cup. The music drops out, the ANC turns off, and the sounds of the outside world get piped in through the microphones. I first tried this feature at CES, where Sony had a faux airplane cabin that it filled with simulated engine noise. And this was the very moment I decided I needed to review this headset.
I can hear you better than I could with them off, yeah. That's smart as hell.
In the same vein, sometimes noise canceling is a bad thing, like when you're walking among city traffic or waiting for a delivery and you're afraid to miss the doorbell. For that, Sony gives you two bypass modes. You just hit this button and suddenly you hear outside sounds alongside whatever music you're listening to. I love having these options. They're so smart, and I used them all the time during my 2 weeks with this set. Also, the touchpad worked well for volume and skip control, as well as play-pause. The 1000X produces sound that's warm and open and rich. As you may recall from my other headphone reviews, though, I'm pretty easy to please here. I stream most of my music through Spotify anyway, so I'm hardly a stickler for quality. There is a notable difference between the wireless and wired modes. In the included travel case, there's a headphone cord and an adapter for airplane use. And when the phones are not powered on, they do work at reduced sound quality. In other good news, voice quality over Bluetooth phone calls is better on these than some other headsets. Crucially, battery life is also excellent. My review set took me across an ocean on a 7-hour flight and through a couple more days on a single charge, so that 20-hour claim between top-ups is legit. What does it get wrong? Not much. The problem with wind making raspy static is still a thing here, but that's true of almost all ANC headphones. I wish the computer voice gave me more specific battery reports than low, medium, and high, though, and I really wish she gave me a warning before battery depletion, rather than just suddenly saying, "Okay, I'm done." The biggest problem is that the headset can't connect to multiple devices at once. Now, that's not an issue for me, since I typically only use it with one device at a time, but one look at Sony's help forums shows a lot of folks feel differently. If you need your headset to support multiple simultaneous connections, this one probably isn't your best choice. The MDR-1000X launched at $399, but it's already gotten a $50 price cut. That's down in Bose territory, and it's undercutting Sennheiser, which is still up around $400 in most places. At $350, it's basically a no-brainer. The 1000X is an easy recommendation for business travelers who have the scratch for a nice set of headphones and a need for silence, where noise usually reigns. This review is brought to you by MintSIM, the new way to get high-speed LTE in the US. Head to mintsim.com and use the discount codes in the description for premium quality service on a premium quality network for a fraction of the price. Until next time, folks, thanks for watching. And stay mobile, my friends.